Today I'll talk about how I remove my xanthelasma. Hi, welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time here then welcome. My name's Simone. Today I decided to talk about my xanthelasma and how I removed it with WARTNER cream. Just before I go on, I just wanted to say a disclaimer that I'm not recommending that anybody uses WARTNER cream to get rid of the xanthelasma or try any other home remedies. The reason that I'm making this video is just to give some information on my xanthelasma and what I did to get rid of it. Basically just tell you my story. I just wanted to start off with, just in case you don't know what a xanthelasma is, and just explain what that is. A xanthelasma is usually a yellow fatty deposit that is found on the eyelids, or I've seen some people that have it under here as well. My specific one was here. You might be able to see the scar if you know, it's just there. When I first found out that I had one, well, when I first saw it, I did some research and found out that they're usually harmless, but in some cases they can be an indicator of heart disease. So when I found that out, I went to my doctors and they tested my cholesterol levels. They was fine. I don't smoke, I'm not obese, I'm not diabetic, and there was a few other factors that I didn't have. They say that if you're a woman between 30 and 50, that you've got more chance of getting them, which is, you know, I'm a woman and I'm between 30 and 50. So yeah, so that was it. I never had this when I was younger. It was only when I made, well, it seemed to me, it was only when I made drastic changes in my diet. And obviously I'm going to show you some photos of mine, but mine are by no means as big as what I've seen some people actually in real life with, you know, like there's one woman that I saw and they're all around here and all up there. But on a website that I found, this is an example of what it can look like. So mine, no matter what I did, whether I put concealer on, even concealer for you know, to cover up tattoos or scars, you could still see it, because with xanthelasmas, if you've not got one, you might not know this, but they're really difficult to cover because they're risen. So you'll be putting the makeup on and it will be covering it to a certain extent, but you can still notice it. In 2012, I gave birth to my son, and in 2013, I wanted to lose some weight. Not just the pregnancy weight, I'd lost that, but since I was about 19, I'd always been about 2 stone, or that's about 12 kgs overweight. I wouldn't say that I was obese, and I didn't have any other health issues, but I just really wanted to lose this weight. So I was doing a lot of research into the Western A Price organisation and how they promote animal-based products, so meat, eggs, the fat off the meat, coconut oil, butter, things like that. I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. So I cut out pretty much all grains and I was eating 3 to 4 eggs a day, lots of coconut oil, beef drippings, meat, including beef, lamb, chicken and turkey. And over a period of, I would say, about 3 months, the weight just dropped off me. And by the end of the summer, so I started this about May time, by the end of the summer, July, August, I'd lost the weight. I'd lost about 10 kgs. So I was feeling amazing, but I noticed that I was getting this little mark on my eye and it was getting bigger and bigger. And by the following year, I'd kept the weight off, but I noticed that this thing on my eye had, you know, it was still there and it was getting bigger. When I got pregnant in 2015, I really noticed that it started to get a lot bigger, and I think it was around about this time that I went to the doctors to speak to them about it and see if there was anything that they could do. And they told me that the test was fine and that there was nothing that they could do, because like here, if you see a doctor under the NHS, it's classed as cosmetic, so they wouldn't look to remove it for me for free, so I'd need to go and do it privately. And the doctor said as well that even if I got it removed by some type of chemical peel, or if they did surgery or something like that on it, it was more than likely to come back. So I thought, right, okay then, right, what do I do? So So I left it, and then it was getting bigger, and I was really concerned that it was going to like spread everywhere, and then I'd really find it difficult to cover up. And don't get me wrong, I'm not vain, but it was just so noticeable. And when one friend said to me, "Oh, you've got something on your eye," and I'm trying to wipe whatever, I was thinking it, you know, I thought it was dirt or something away, and it wasn't coming off, and I realised it was that. And then I said to her, "Oh, it's, you know, it's this Xanthelasma that I've got." After I had my daughter, so this was 2015. Yeah, so I think I've got my dates wrong, sorry. So it was 2013 that it came, and 2014 it got bigger, and by 2015 it was getting bigger. It was all like kind of all the way around here, but I'm going to insert the photo so that you can see what it was like before and after. Mid 2015 I decided to do some research on home remedies. So someone had used garlic and it looked like that worked, so I gave that a go a little bit, but it stung a lot, and I think I tried it for a couple of days and I gave up with that. And then I remember finding an old episode of Embarrassing Bodies from Channel 4, and there was a person on there who had really, really big ones, and they paid for them to go to a private clinic, and they applied acid to them. And I couldn't believe the transformation after. It really, you know, you could really tell a difference. So I was looking into that to see if there was any clinics close to where I live. I stumbled across some blogs where people had used this acid, and it's called, I hope I pronounce it right, it's trichloroacetic acid, or TCA. I think that's how you pronounce it. They'd bought some of this from eBay and used it, and they said that they had good results from it, but I was a bit concerned, you know, to go on eBay and buy something like that and apply it around my eye. And then I saw another blog where someone had used WARTNER cream, and one of the ingredients in it is this acid, and I don't think it was as strong as some of these acids that were on eBay. So I thought, right, let's just give it a go. I think what I did was, originally I went to Boots, I bought it. This is it here. I've not used it since, I only used it that time, but this is the WARTNER pen that I used. It's got like a thin tip to be able to apply it, you know, to the affected area. So I went to Boots, bought it, and I was a bit reluctant at first. I was really worried. So I applied some coconut oil around it. I know that some people, they use Vaseline, but I only had coconut oil on hand. And to start off with, I just applied a tiny bit to the top. I didn't want to do the whole thing because I was really worried that, you know, something might go wrong. So the first day I put it on. So I just got the pen, and then I just put it on like the top of it, and it was really weird. It went white. It stung for the first few seconds, and then it was fine. But it was like a film. I don't know if it's because it froze, like the you know, the top layer of the skin. I'm not sure, but it seemed to be fine. And then the next day I thought, right, I'm gonna do the rest of it, because I wasn't having any adverse reaction. There wasn't any swelling or anything like that, so I did the whole thing the next day. So the white film came on again, and then the next day I did it again, and that's when I noticed that it wasn't stinging or anything. It was stinging the first few seconds, but then it started to swell up a bit. And as you can see from the photos, as the days progressed, so I just used it for the 3 days, as the days progressed, it just seemed to get worse. where the Xanthelasma was, it was weeping and it was scabbing over, and my husband was really concerned and said to me, you know, if it doesn't sort itself out, maybe you need to go to the doctors because maybe it's infected or there's some problem. So when I was going out, I really got some funny looks because it just looked an absolute mess. I don't think the photographs do it justice. I wouldn't say it was really painful or anything. It was just horrible to look at, and I was thinking, what have I done? Like, am I going to look like this for the rest of my life now? It wasn't funny at the time, but obviously now I can look back and laugh and think, what was I doing? I'm not sure what day it was, but the scab, it was within the week, but the scab looked like it was starting to come loose. So I got a cotton bud and dipped it in some coconut oil, and I gently put it over it, and it looked like, I mean, it might not be the Xanthelasma, but it looked like it was like fat that was coming away, and it was all smooth. So as the days progressed, I'd say by about 2 weeks, it looked totally normal. You could see like a scar mark, which you can see on the photos, but it looked so much better than what it was before because I could just cover it with some concealer and you wouldn't even notice that it was there. Yeah, so as the weeks progressed, it just gradually, the swelling went down even more, and then it was just totally fine. So after a couple of months, I kept checking it to make sure that it wasn't coming back. And then round where the Xanthelasma was, it looked like it was starting to come back. It looked like little pinpricks of fat again. So I was thinking, what am I going to do? Because if it's not coming back on the scar mark, but it's coming around it, I mean, you can't really see here now, but I thought it could spread on the whole eyelid and all the way around, and there's no way I'm going to be able to use this on my eyelid because obviously it's really delicate. So that's when I decided to make some drastic changes with my diet, because I thought, when I was trying to put everything together to work out why it came in the first place, diet just kept coming up the whole time. So what I decided to do was to cut out everything pretty much. Really what I'd incorporated before, and I went plant-based. I would say 80 to 90% plant-based. So I cut out the eggs, the meat, the dairy, and the coconut oil as well, because I was concerned that that might have had something to do with it, because I'd always had red meat and chicken and things like that before, but not in the quantities that I was having it in. And I didn't want to, at the time, I mean, it would have been good if I would have eliminated things bit by bit to see which one it was that could have been causing it, but I didn't want it to get any bigger, so I just decided, right, I'm just going to cut all of it out. So like I said, yeah, I was pretty much plant-based, eating just fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds and things like that. To this day, I'm still pretty much plant-based. I occasionally eat meat, I occasionally have eggs, but I don't have dairy, and with coconut oil, I don't have as much as what I used to have. Loads of coconut oil. I would have spoonfuls in smoothies. I would fry my meat in it or cook roast potatoes in it, and I would have lots of beef drippings and things like that. So like I said, I think it was quite excessive. Tweaking my diet seemed to have made a difference for me, and it has not come back. I really do feel like it was diet related for me. I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but for me, I think it was diet related. So I am continuing to be predominantly plant-based. I'd like to be 100% plant-based, and sometimes I am, and then sometimes I'm not. Like, I'm pregnant at the moment, so my diet has changed quite a lot in the last few months. I've been having coconut oil again, but not as much as what I used to, and again, it's still not come back. I will insert a photo now of today of what my eye looked like before I put any makeup on, and then what it looked like after. So I'll just put that in there now. Thanks for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that it was useful. If you have any questions or comments, then please leave them below. And if you did like this video, please would you mind giving it a thumbs up, and I would also love it if you could subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I hope to see you again. Bye.